I loved one of your quotes. People do not see the kind of a family man you are. There are two quotes which you had mentioned somewhere. One is that the older you get, the happier you get, and the other one was really fantastic when you mentioned that for me, if my wife is happy, I am happy. So I think you're totally a family man. It's a kind of an image which not many people know about. So what is that story of yours?
To me, my family is the most important thing in my life, and I can do anything to ensure their happiness and their comfort. It's very, very important to me because I took on the commitment, and I'm a person who will see every commitment through. I cannot see anything halfway through. So the advice I give young people getting married, I tell the boy, I think please agree to whatever your wife says, because that is the secret of a happy marriage. There's no need to argue or get into an argument about something. Agree, and then everything just sort of sorts itself out. The best thing will happen.
So simple advice.
And with children also, I've always believed in telling my children, follow your dreams, do what you want to do. Don't feel pressurized into following me into my business or anyone else into their business. Do what you want to do. And I tell young people that all the time. Wake up in the morning feeling happy about what you do. Because if you're not, why are you doing it then? To go to a job that you hate, to be in a profession because your parents pushed you into it, I think it's no longer valid. Now you have to make your own life, make your own way, make your own settlement with life and with this world, and be happy, because that is, I think, at the end of the day, the most important thing in life. For some people it's money, for some people it's family, for some people it's their profession, their talent, whatever it is, be happy. It's not such a tough thing.
One thing which I think you also have mentioned a lot of times is the impact of National Institute of Design in your life, and I think that institute has played a great role in your life per se. What I want to understand is, if the person who actually was at the National Institute of Design, and if you could go back to that person, what would you like to tell that person that, probably 50 years back, if you were to rewind this story, and what is the advice you would give to that Prasad who was studying at NID?
So, getting into the National Institute of Design for me was a complete stroke of luck. I was in St. Joseph's College at that time, finishing my PUC, finished with it. And then I had a 6-month break when my father said, why don't you join the Polytechnic and do a course that you'd like to do? And I found that they had textile technology, so I chose to do that. 6 months into that course, a cousin of mine came and said, you're so interested in design, and there's this wonderful institute in Ahmedabad where he had gone to do some work called the National Institute of Design. And I said, do you have any information on it? And he said, no, those were not the days you could go online and Google and find anything. Yes. He said, all I can remember is that it was in a place called Paldi in Ahmedabad. So I wrote a letter, National Institute of Design, Paldi, Ahmedabad. And it reached them. And they sent me the application form. My timing was right. The application form was actually the very first exam. It was a 20-page booklet, and you had to fill it up with all kinds of information about yourself and your ambitions, your dreams, what you saw yourself as. And I, being very honest and candid, wrote everything about my interest in fashion and how I was unable to find a course to study, and sent it off to them. And then they sent me an interview formatted letter saying, come to Ahmedabad on such and such a date. So I said to my dad, Dad, I've been called and I'd like to go. And he said, to do what? And I said, I want to study design. And my dad said, what is design? How will you earn a living from it? And I said...
him being from Air Force.
He was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I want to be in this industry, in advertising and glamour and fashion. He said, I'm not sure about it at all. And he refused to send me, actually. And then I said to him that I would go to an uncle of mine and ask him to sponsor my visit to Ahmedabad. So then my father capitulated and said, okay, go. So we climbed into a train and off we went to Ahmedabad. There were a few other students from Bangalore also. There must have been about 1,000 students at the interview. And then they say, okay, you finish this leg of the interview. You come back the next morning. If your name is on the notice board, you'll go for the next interview. And over 3 days, every morning I would go praying and look at, and my name would be there. And we'd go through all kinds of tests. I mean, they had a test called the Think Test, which had all sorts of random objects on a table, and you had to identify those, even making up stories. So I had a lot of fun with it, making up what things were. So I didn't know what they were, just making it up.
Very creative.
And then it went on to the last day, which then became the personal interview. And in the interview, they asked me, they said, what do you see yourself becoming? And you see, there was no course in fashion design. It was textile design that they had. So I had to go through that route.
And graphic design also, if I'm not wrong, right? Graphic design
Graphic design too. And they had many different faculties, product design. So in textile design, I managed to get into the course. And I took graphic design. In the foundation year, you have to do everything. And then I concentrated on doing graphic design. I found that much more exciting at the end of the day. So in the first part of my career, I was in advertising. But advertising itself had so much of fashion-related work with it.
Good old days.
We built a reputation of being, a good agency for fashion-related work. And then we managed to clinch the Gokuldas Exports account, who launched the Warehouse. And Warehouse was an iconic fashion property. I think many people in Bangalore still remember the campaigns and growing up with the Warehouse. And we took it from one store to 62 stores. In fact, the man who ran Gokuldas was Dinesh Hinduja. And he was my primary mentor. He was the man I learned so much from. Till today, I'm so grateful to him. And I'm lucky enough to meet with him quite regularly. Recently, the CEO Club instituted an award for Dinesh, and I coordinated the whole event. It was an honor being able to honor him, It was an amazing, amazing experience.
You also been always a people's person, isn't it? I mean,
Oh, yes, I love people. People are my hobby. You can leave me in an airport or a delayed flight, and I don't get bored at all. I can people watch for 2 hours, 3 hours non-stop. I find people fascinating, really.
Personally, I was so glad that, the last time we met was because of an event through Radio 1. And when I texted you to be a part of this podcast and you had my number and, you said that, Faiz, I've been having your number for years, and you were very warm and cordial. So that shows you remember names, you remember birthdays, you remember everything about a person.
I try to, yes.
So one thing about this whole industry, what makes a person stylish? Is it what you wear? Is it because, the way you carry yourself? I mean, whatever you wear, you make a personal statement with it. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who always compliment you the way you carry yourself, and even now what you're wearing. So what is something which is really important? I mean, what is the hack for the audience that, how to be the most well-dressed person in the room?
See, fashion is something you buy. Style is something you possess. So that's the intrinsic difference. I think some people are born with an innate style. They just have it in them to be able to wear anything and make it look good. I was very fortunate that both my parents were also very smart people. And being in the Air Force, they had a huge social life. So a lot of my early memories are of my parents getting dressed, my mom wearing some beautiful sari and putting on her makeup and spraying her perfume, and off they'd go to a party. So it was very much part of our culture. And the other thing was that both of them were avid readers. Both of them read books like at the speed of sound. And because of that, I became very interested in reading. And for me, that was my biggest learning. I mean, my father had 20 volumes of the Book of Knowledge, which must have been a Victorian publication. It was so old, but full of the most interesting things, from the printing of textiles to how a steam engine worked, to how aircraft flew. And I read it from beginning till end because I was bored. I had nothing else to do but read.
And no
You
screens.
must remember that I grew up in an India that was very poor.
And also no screens at that time.
There was nothing.
Nothing.
There was nothing. I had no siblings. I had an older brother who was 12 years older than me. So when I was 5, he left to join the Air Force. So I only got to know him properly when we were both adults. So I grew up pretty much a very lonely and child. And in the Air Force, of course, they do have weekend programs and all that. But during the week, for me, books were my companionship. Books were my friends, and I read avidly. And of course, it started with Enid Blyton and things like that, but it moved on to stealing novels from my parents. And my mother would say, "You can't read that, it's too adult for you." So I'd wait for them to leave the house and then quickly read whatever. So it was fun, but for me, that learning is something that imprinted itself on my mind. And I feel that because of that curiosity, because of the depth of reading that I had, that I learned quite a lot. And it has come in useful till today. When you have information, you are powerful. It's like
So
that.
true. And it's such an irony. Usually people associate with people who are really good looking or models with, being half brained, which is so untrue, right? I think, you need a certain amount of personality to carry yourself and to be that stylish. What do you have to say about that? Because generally models are perceived as people who are lesser intelligent. I mean, is it...
You see, style is something that can be acquired. You can study and learn how to be stylish. Learn to wear the right shoe with the right outfit. Learn how to make your hair to the best of your abilities to make yourself look your very best. Some people carry it naturally. Some people acquire it by learning. And some people never get it at all, And one of the jokes about Aishwarya Rai is that she has no personal style. That unless the stylist puts her together, she herself can't be bothered. That she's quite happy to knock around the house in jeans and a summer dress or whatever. But style is very important because style is what gives a show that edge. It's what gives an ad that edge, gives a film that edge. Style is everything, really. I think also convinces other people to follow you because you're stylish. I suppose maybe if I were not stylish, nobody would be following me. So
true.
It pays off.
Who's the most stylish person according to you, other than you, of course? So.
For me, style is something that I feel a David Abraham, a Rakesh Thakur, designers who were classmates of mine, they have a fantastic sense of style. A woman like Shobha Dey, the writer, the most wonderful collection of saris and jewelry and really knows how to put herself together.
Very classy.
A Kangana Ranaut who really knows how to dress. She seems to have it ingrained in her.
Interesting.
She wears some very beautiful saris and she knows how to present herself. Among the men, Shobha Dey's husband Dilip Dey is a very stylish man. He's in his late 80s now. But to him, his wardrobe, his grooming, his accessories, everything has to be perfect. I admire people like that, who really take the trouble to groom themselves because it's not easy. It's easy to be lazy and say, no, I don't feel like doing it today. But for those who do it day after day, look after their skin, look after their hair, look after their diet, look after their bodies, it's very important. Like we teach models, you are what you eat. You want to eat a hot dog and samosas, you look like a hot dog and samosas.
Well
eat
put.
that shiny apple and look like a shiny apple, So diet, exercise, these are very important things
Is
in
that
life.
the secret of you being what you are at your age?
Well, I'm careful. My wife tells me that I'm more careful than she is. I'm very careful about what I eat. I will never eat anything that's been made in America, for example. Any food invented in America, I tell everyone stay away from it. Don't go near McDonald's, don't go near Kentucky Fried Chicken. I know that young people love that kind of food, but it is sheer poison, let me tell you. It is such bad stuff for you. A good, healthy Indian diet is the best thing in the world. You see, a part of my work is also feeding models at the many shows we do. They come to us early in the morning. We do breakfast, lunch, dinner after the show. Feeding models has always been a priority for us. And I will do only ghar ka khana. I will order from the 5-star hotel or the 3-star hotel or wherever we are staying or whoever's catering. And I say, I want a homely kind of a meal. There has to be white rice. There has to be chapatis. There has to be dal. There has to be 2 kinds of vegetables. There have to be 1 non-veg dish, preferably like a tandoori chicken, which is oil-free and easy to eat for everyone.
At the end of the day, Prasad Bidapa is Mandi Namaga.
I think that we Indians actually are sitting on a tradition, a heritage that is far more advanced than anything else the world has seen. Like if you go to Belur and Halibid, you will see pictures, ancient carvings of men with telescopes Yet they say that someone like Galileo invented the telescope in the 17th century. Then what are you talking about? We've had it since the 10th century. We have astronomers, we have Shushruta, we have the writings of the great sages, which is so full of information, all on a scientific basis. Our problem is that we Indians don't take ourselves seriously. But that's a colonial fault, you see, because we were hammered for 300 years and we lost our mojo to a large extent. It's only coming back now.
We need to take that pride in our culture. That's more important.
But now it is changing. I think with the newer generation is doing it even better. And with my generation, we started taking ourselves seriously. We believed that we were as good as anybody else.
Very true.
But it's different for us because we were the children of a free India. But for those who grew up and lived in an India that was colonized by the British or the French or the Portuguese or the Dutch, it then became that you were a second-class citizen. And if you berate someone and make them and tell them that often enough, they begin to believe it,
It's like you said, it was hammered in the minds of people.
Yeah.
Icons Unplugged is brought to you in association with Born Good, because every icon is either born good or chooses to do good. Choose Born Good's plant-based and organic cleaning products for a cleaner office, a cleaner home, and a cleaner tomorrow. So it got stuck there.
Luckily, we grew up in a free India. We didn't have to do salam to the British or go to the side of the road when they walked past. But imagine our ancestors had to do that.
We come to a point where Indians have become prime ministers also of London. So
you see?
Yeah.
So now that national pride is coming back, but there's still such a long way to go. I don't know why we're such a dirty people in India. The garbage, the mess. We go abroad and they spit pan on the street. And what is it about it? Today I was talking to the Bangalore Political Action Committee, which I'm a trustee with, and Mohandas Pai, Kiran Majumdar, they're all part of it. And we were debating many things about Bangalore. So today I put it on the table and I said I'd like BPAC to do an initiative to educate people and young people about cleanliness and
civic
looking
sense
after the environment and respecting your neighbors and doing things like that, and to get garbage collection in the city into a better space. It's just dreadful what is happening.
One thing I'm sure everybody would like to know is, based on if you had a crystal ball and if you were to look at the future of fashion in India, or for that matter internationally, how would you look at it?
I would see India glowing at the top of that list, because I feel that the heritage we have, the traditions we have, the textiles, the craft, has something that has sustained Western fashion for many decades, if not centuries. You see, India had the biggest weaving tradition in the world at that time. We were $1 trillion industry, exporting textiles to every corner of the globe. Even if you look at Jesus Christ's time, the rich Roman ladies were wearing scarves made out of silk, which were imported from India and woven in our part of the country. But somewhere along the way, the British invented the power loom, and then they broke the hand looms and discouraged hand weaving and khadi and all the beautiful processes that we had. So they copied our processes. Like they would take the chint that we did and they would make it into a print and call it chintz, They did so much to destroy everything, and they managed quite well to keep our industry down. They destroyed an entire industry. It's only after independence, when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru came back and said to some very prominent women that you'll have to do something about reviving the heritage and craft of this nation. And people like Pupul Jaikar and Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay, Martan Singh, Rajiv Sethi, these were the greats, Uzrama in Hyderabad. There's Pavitra Mutaya and her mother Chimmi over here. These were the people who started encouraging hand weaving again, of creating markets for our weavers, our printers, our dyers, our embroidery. And now today's generation is wearing a lot of our heritage fabrics.
Very true.
So to me, that's very much the future of fashion, because even a Parisian label like Dior or Chanel is using Indian embroidery without giving us credit. Couple of months ago, Prada took the Kolhapuri chappal and made it their own, selling it at $6,500. I mean, it's unheard of. It's like, cultural appropriation of the worst sort. You're taking someone else's mehnat, someone's labor, and you're making it part of your own thing, and without giving it credit, you're keeping 99% of the profit.
Yeah.
So I think that it's time for India to get a wake-up call and say, we have our Banarases, our Mulkal Murus, our Kanjivarams, our Patolas, our Paithanis, our beautiful Ikkats. We have textiles in this country that are like a treasure chest. In fact, I recently wrote a comic book for the textile ministry, which was an attempt to get young people very interested in handloom. So I created a kind of a Enid Blyton kind of a story where 5 children are charged with finding the secret that's hidden within the great handlooms of India.
That's beautiful.
And they go on an adventure around the country with a dog.
Like a treasure hunt.
Like a treasure hunt, and they come back with this information. Buy the Louis Vuitton bag, or buy a Prada bag, or buy an Hermes bag for lakhs and lakhs. It's technically a factory-made product.
Yeah.
It's not something that is unique.
And made in
Whereas
China.
you take a Banaras sari, each sari is unique because the weaver himself cannot replicate the same sari again.
And all these brands are eventually made in China, in Chinese factories.
Mostly made in China, and then the almost finished product is taken back to Italy and they put a last buckle on it, and by law they can say now that that bag is made in Italy. So that's how we get conned. But now there is a backlash against these luxury brands. Balenciaga was trying to sell a pair of jeans by making it into a top, and they got trolled over the internet completely. I really feel that a lot of these big brands show very little responsibility, very little concern for the environment. Fashion is, after all, the biggest polluting industry in the country. Last week I had an article in Deccan Herald saying that we have to address this problem. You can't just keep going and buying cheap clothes. You go to some big brand like Zara or an H&M on sale and pick up a whole lot of clothes because they're at 70% discount, not realizing that all you're creating is more junk. Mm-hmm. These clothes are not going to age beautifully. Whereas if you open your mother's cupboard and find a Banaras sari, she'll say, son, I bought it 40 years ago and it's looking even more beautiful now. Your sister will be able to take it and wear it.
One beautiful thing is I find a lot of friends of mine, for their own marriages, they wear saris of their grandmothers and stuff like that. So I think this generation values a lot of culture in that way.
That's my community. The Kurgs have a tradition of wearing that. Mm-hmm. The sari is never bought. It's always borrowed from. So sometimes they do buy, and then that sari will be loaned to the next 10 brides until it falls apart completely. I think that's wonderful. So I keep encouraging people to exchange clothes. Many of the ladies I know buy clothes that they never wear. And I know women who have not even taken it out of the shopping bag. So then, okay, now have a party and start exchanging clothes with everyone. Upcycle your clothes, recycle your clothes. That sari is damaged, you can't throw it away. Make it into a robe, make it into a kaftan. Upcycle, repurpose a garment. Mm-hmm. Take a bunch of old cotton saris, join them together with kantha embroidery. You can make a kind of a quilt for yourself with it,
Beautiful.
So many things you can, and India is great at it because our country, we have always recycled. We've always repurposed. I grew up wearing my cousin's old clothes, my brother's old clothes. And I tell my dad, my shoes have fallen apart. I want a new pair of shoes. He'd say, go and ask your brother if he's got a pair of old shoes to give you. That's how we grew up,
That's what our parents tell us, that we come from a time when, if something wasn't working, we actually fixed it and not bought a new one.
You fixed it, exactly. You went to the cobbler, you fixed the shoe. Today, you just take it and chuck it in the trash, goes into a landfill, poisons the earth.
Philosophically, if you look at it, people do that to relationships also. They don't fix it.
I know, that's so true, In fact, I have a lot of young people who come to me for relationship advice. And I say to them that give it a try, at the end of the day, you all fell in love with each other. You decided to get married because you love each other. It can't just go out of the window. Search for it, find it, make it work again, But But young people today, especially, I think, have become so used to fast food and fast fashion, fast relationships also are becoming, like speed dating or something like that, so.
Beautiful. So we're going to make this segment towards the end a little more interesting and very engaging. So I would like to ask you certain rapid fire questions, and whatever top of the mind comes to your mind, you please have to tell us. One decision which actually changed your life.
I think the decision that changed my life was to go to NID.
Wonderful.
Because it literally opened the windows of my mind. I realized what design was all about, and I learned so much. I met people who are my friends till today. Next month, we all go to Vietnam on a holiday, my class. So I have David and Rakesh, Archana Shah, who started Bandage. I've got Kevin Nigley, who works with Abraham and Thakur. John Abraham, who's worked with me practically all our lives. We work together. So it's a crowd that stays in touch, and we'll be going off to Vietnam to take a look at what that country has to offer us.
Wonderful. One career decision you're so proud of.
My career decision to revive heritage textiles, to me, became the most important aspect of my work in fashion.
You're the champion of that, actually.
I am, because, we went to the Rajasthan government 10 years ago and said to them that we'll be able to promote your fabrics. We'll be able to bring designers to the table to redesign some of the fabrics. Because you see, even tradition can get a bit boring. At one point, all the block prints in India were all about little Mughal vases with little flowers in them, when so much more could have been done. And then we brought in designers who created different kinds of blocks, different kinds of looks. We took the Kota Doria sari and gave it to designers like Manish Saxena and others, who taught the weavers new color combinations, new ways of doing design and patterning without disturbing the original. Because these are very sensitive designers who always told us, we have learnt as much from the weavers as we have taught them. It has been a jugalband,
What
literally.
a partnership.
And that's amazing, really. So for me, the reviving of Indian handicrafts and textiles is very, very high priority.
Your favorite fashion garment?
My favorite fashion garment would be, I think, a dhoti.
I thought you might say sari, but lovely.
A dhoti for men and a sari for women. To me, the sari is the most perfect garment in the world. I mean, a woman takes 6 meters of fabric. We have 92 different ways of wearing it in this country.
Wonderful.
And each woman makes it so unique. Whatever your figure is, whatever your height is, you can look wonderful in a sari. So to me, it will always remain the most perfect garment.
Your favorite Kannada expression?
My favorite Kannada expression would be Nirige Homa. Do you know what that means?
No.
It's like lighting a fire on water.
Oh, wow.
It's like when you give someone advice and they're not taking it, or someone does not listen to what you're saying. It's a Nirige Homa Hakidante.
Wonderful.
Like building a fire on water.
Your biggest contribution, according to you, to the fashion world? It could be a person or something which you did, but what is you feel is your biggest contribution?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. I'm the kind of person who doesn't rate myself. So maybe if I had to think about it, what is my contribution to the fashion industry?
Now you're being modest. There's a bullet point presentation one can make, actually.
My contribution would be, I think, maybe in a way training a spotlight onto various aspects of the industry, the models, the hair and makeup artists, the stage designers, the lighting designers, and always inspiring them to come up with better and better things. Like some of my stage designs have been award-winning, and I really like that because I have a young team who works with me, and inspiring them is very important for me. So I think in many ways we have set standards in the industry, so that I'm proud of.
So we have a lot of common friends, and they all say a very important thing about you, that his name is Prasad, and he's literally like a prasad and a blessing for all of us. So what do you have to say to that? I mean, there's a message for
I'm
them.
very flattered to hear that because, Prasad means God's gift, and to be considered that is really wonderful. I mean, it humbles you, really.
One message for Bangalore? and also everybody who's seeing this show, what is your message for everybody?
My overriding message would be to always respect khadi, because you see, when Mahatma Gandhi used it, he weaponized it, and he made it into a weapon that won us freedom. And without khadi, we would not have been anywhere. But yet today it's forgotten a bit. People don't wear it so much. So I always request people, in your life, every year, buy a certain amount of pure khadi.
Nice.
From a good source.
So basically you're igniting the cultural revolution in India now.
I hope so, because I think that Mr. Modi has in many ways contributed very heavily towards khadi being popularized again. Today, khadi has become the largest FMCG in the country, and it's also being exported very heavily. So we have to maintain quality, make sure that it's really the best. Because today, there are a lot of unscrupulous people who will weave a loose weave on a machine and pass it off as a handloom. It's difficult sometimes to tell the difference. You really have to be an expert, or you have to be able to use a special machine to see how it was woven and identify the textile. But almost 22% of the population of India are directly or indirectly involved in the production of khadi and handloom, from the farmers who grow the cotton and rear the silk and the wool and the jute and every other thing that we use to make textiles. That if you buy khadi, you're benefiting a very large part of the population, and you're keeping a very important tradition alive. So
Sure.
that would be my message.
Wonderful. Prasad sir, thank you so much for being a part of Icons Unplugged. We generally
you,
feel that
Faiz.
you have to be born good to become an icon. So they are our sponsors.
Thank you so much. That's so kind of you.
And also, there's a very you always love artists. So we've got a very interesting artist who has made something for you. If you would like to open this,
I'd love to. What's his name?
His name is Abhi, and he runs an Instagram channel called Sketch the Photos.
Called?
Sketch the Photos.